You get really good at pretending until that pull to authenticity just makes you feel like a caged animal. We stopped going to church because of the pandemic in the first place. It was the right thing to do at that point in time, but even leading up to that time, I had been struggling. I had tried to talk about parts of my life that were frustrating, that were hard, that were real, and I just felt like, I don't know what the right word for it is, maybe gaslit a bit, that I would talk about purity culture, for example, and there was people that would be like, I don't know what your experience was. Oh, I don't know what was wrong with your church. I didn't have that experience. And it infuriated me. Like, because I didn't experience something, you just must be the outlier. Like, no, I wasn't. The arrogance of some people, man. And it's not to call those specific people out. It's to call out the attitude. I was a professional Christian for the longest time. I was singing in worship team and on the worship team at a church, and I was helping my dad with a youth group. I was in front of people even before becoming a missionary actor for 13 years. So I carried the burden of putting on the smile and ushering in the worshipful atmosphere. And I didn't feel like a phony the entire time. There were definitely ups and downs as far as wondering why I couldn't keep this passionate vigor continually, but it had to be. I had to go through these ups and downs of awesome worship experiences at retreats and summer camps to being back home and going meh again. And then I felt like a huge failure, a huge phony. I feel like it was easier to be a good Christian in front of people. So the ups and downs of the conferences and camps and retreats was pre-covenant players. That was my teenage life. Within the minister organization, the times of infilling and encouragement and just being ready to get back out there on the road and do the thing was during the January and summer breaks. That's when we would have really special times of community and prayer, and we would really feel ready to go back out. Some of us. So I saw so many people get so incredibly burnt out and just mental health exacerbated, just a lot of pain and suffering. And sadly, I was somebody that judged people for walking away, and I didn't get how bad it could be for people. I hadn't really been exposed to the reality of mental illness and real, true, serious burnout. But I noticed as I was looking back on this footage and, editing out the long pauses as I do, I had this tone of like apologetic heaviness, which I don't feel about not going to church, but I can tell that I'm feeling the unspoken judgment from others.
Hello.
And I don't need to carry that. That's not my burden. People can feel sad, wondering if I'm a Christian or not anymore, or feel like I really should be going to church, and that's fine. But I don't need to convince anyone that I'm Christian enough. Like, for anybody who is a this is what it means to be Christian gatekeeper. I don't have to fit into anybody's box. I feel more motivated to embody love and be love and be truly joyful, be truly in this world, but not weighed down by it than I did when I was saying all the right things that meant I was a Christian and doing all the right things that meant I was a Christian. It feels good. I love not going to church. I love having the weekend. God, we're so tired. Like, it's one day is not enough in the weekend to just be ready to go all through it again the next week. I know Morton misses it, and I really, really, really appreciate that he hasn't put pressure on me, because I mean, he's also super tired from the rigors of the weeks, that he's often not in a place of wanting to get up early and get 3 kids in the car and ready and gone, and yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't even record this part of it. Going to church with small kids really sucks. When we were going to the Salvation Army in Visby, they were really loving about kids being kids. Thank goodness. It's such a fragile state to be in, of being hyper aware that your kids are going to make noise. Little people, they do. And most of the time I didn't feel like I can't even get anything out of this anyway, because I have to just go and be with the kids. And it's all in Swedish, and my Swedish still isn't good enough to like follow complex theological discussion. So I was just like, well, I'll just be with the kid in the room when I could have just been home anyway. A lot of church is just not accessible to parents of small children. And being an expat and being left out and language barriers, culture barriers. When the girls were little, I was desperate to have a reason to get out of the house and to see other humans, and I didn't care how much I didn't understand. And church multiple times a week was just a way of life for me. And honestly, I don't want my kids indoctrinated. I don't want them terrified of hell, of eternal conscious torment. My kids are so sensitive. I would be angry if someone were to try to convince them of this. It would take forever to talk them down. I don't believe in so many of these things anymore. And I don't want my kids going to a place where that's taught. I don't want them to be taught that they're bad, that they were born bad, that they deserve punishment, that it's their fault that Jesus died. I don't want them to hear a graphic sermon on the logistics of Jesus' death. I don't want them to feel guilted into being good people, that God is disappointed in you when you mess up. I just don't want my kids around that. So many thoughts spinning around in my head right now. But, like, there's no such thing as perfect. I mean, as we all know that already, of course. But the people who have tried to make perfect is in conformity. And if everything looks the same, acts the same, operates the same, then it looks perfect, and therefore it must be perfect. And then we get, Stepford wives, robots, whatnot. We get a loss of free will. We get a lack of actual expression. We get the mental illness that comes from repressing who one truly is. And that perfection that was being sought for is just a death sentence. Ooh, I know what this is going for. This is gonna go in my video of why I don't go to church anymore. Because church is just a part of that repressive system, and there are affirming LGBTQ affirming churches, Salvation Army churches in other parts of the world, but in Sweden and obviously in America, it is a no-go zone. You have to hold that part of yourself quiet and under wraps and never act on it, or you can't be in the club. And I can't be a part of a system like that. No more. Not to mention all the stories I've heard of the podcasts that I've done of just how much abuse has spiritual, religious, physical, other kinds of abuse has been perpetuated in the name of ministry or in the name of, the ends justify the means. A woman is never right. Nope. Hopefully it's not too windy, that this footage is still usable. Why would I make this video? Even with the fear of what people will think, is because of love. Is to see other people who have chosen to not make church, going to church that is, a part of their identity. I have church in my heart every day. I am looking for the infinite and the majestic and the epic and the beautiful and the God that is all around. And I don't miss going to church at all. I'm so happy to have 2 days to do nothing, or a day to catch up on cleaning, a day of rest. I try to aim for that. Sometimes it's Saturday that I rest, sometimes it's Sunday. But yeah. So for love, for anyone else that's chosen it, that is maybe being made to feel guilty about it, or maybe just feels guilty deep down in their own hearts, like to say, hey, let yourself off the hook and enjoy it. Be free. Freedom is awesome. Ooh, that was a good one. I have a few other videos on purity culture, some of my story, on how I came to change my mind, as it were, about being an affirming person for the LGBTQA plus two spirit community. And yeah, I'm sorry if anything that I've said here has offended you. I don't mean anything as a personal attack. This is where I have landed, and I know that we can still love each other and disagree. And I know that there are a lot of us out there that are done with church for the foreseeable future, that are struggling to figure out how to coalesce. Is that the right word? Gotta look that up. The experiences that we've had and how our beliefs have changed up to now, and to figure out who we are and where we stand. But I'm okay to live in wonder and in the not knowing and in the gray. It feels much safer here. I would love to hear thoughts down below in the comments. I'd rather not hear the you're a evil person and you're going to hell. But, you know, if you must say that, all engagement counts positively towards the algorithm, so go for it, I guess. But I want to say, if you want, no pressure, but if you're up for it, hugs! Also, I painted my nails for the first time in I don't know how long, like a bajillion years. What do you think? Okay. Bye. Got distracted by some cool birds in a tree. Or maybe it was just some loose bark. I don't know. Maybe it's some garbage stuck up there. This is quality content. No, it's birds. No, it's garbage. I don't know.
This is pretty much the
Best
video ever made.